Hey, hello, we're at the Farm Without Borders in Asbury Park. We're Matt and Lori from the Kula farm, and we'd love to give you a quick update about what's growing right now at the Farm Without
This is
Borders.
one of our beds. This bed is an example of how we incorporate lots of different things into our gardening. We don't just do vegetable crops, we don't just do flowers, we incorporate herbs and perennials. So this is one of our herbs beds. It has a lot of perennials in it. We've got some fennel growing here. This is milkweed. It's not for people, it's for the insects. We're trying to support the monarchs. We have some dill growing, lots and lots of oregano. We have basil growing and chives. And then we even have some clary sage, which is a medicinal herb. You'll see a lot of medicinal herbs growing randomly throughout the garden. We have red clover right here. You'll find lots of different herbs all throughout the garden. This is a newly planted bed of Malabar spinach. Right now they're tiny, but as the summer goes on, they're going to grow into giant vines, and they provide a nice succulent green for the summertime, which we don't usually have a lot of. Here we have a couple of our beds of kale. We've got a couple different varieties growing in each bed, but it's a very popular crop and we use it all the time. Over here we have newly planted cucumbers. They'll probably take another month or so, but then pretty soon hopefully you'll have some cucumbers growing in this area. And then you'll also see some calendula flowers, some cilantro that we let to go to flower. We like to let a lot of things go to flower here to support our pollinators and insects. In these beds here we've got lots of beets growing and Swiss chard. We even have ground cherries growing in the beds over here. And then the flowers that you see behind me are our spring crop of mustards that have gone to flower, and we're going to let them flower for a little while for the bees. The plant right here is our sweet potato vine. It's just getting started too, but if you come back in a month, this entire area will probably be covered in sweet potato vines. Here's another example of some of our medicinal plants. This is anise hyssop. Right over here is borage. Down here is castor bean. Castor bean is actually not edible, but there's a local population that actually knows how to use it medicinally, so that's why we grow it. And then right over here, we've got red amaranth. This is something that we harvest every week and donate to our food pantry. We have a lot of people in the area that know this crop. It's a Caribbean local crop and people love it, and so we grow it for them. We like to grow lots of things that people in this neighborhood know and like to cook with, and so this is one of those things that we like to grow every year. This is a plant that we add to our salad mixes occasionally. It's a lamb's quarter and it's got this really cool pop of pink color, so that's nice. It's a fun plant to grow. And then right here we've got sunflowers. You'll see a lot of sunflowers here in our garden throughout the summertime. These aren't bloomed yet. Behind me bloomed is a mullein plant, and this is yet another example of a medicinal herb that we are growing in the garden. This is used for ear health, this is used for respiratory health, and so we have some people that just come out and collect the leaves and make their own medicine with it. These plants here that are surrounding me are all planted up with okra and some more Malabar spinach. This is the okra here, and then here's our Malabar spinach, and the whole way that this is designed is this okra is going to grow up tall into space, and then this Malabar spinach is going to grow low, and so we're taking advantage of two different levels of space. And these were actually planted by our homeschool students. So here's some of our newest beds that we just put in. We just seeded them with things like beets and squash. And we have some radishes behind me, but these are some beds that were just added with the help of our volunteers that come out to the garden. Volunteers come out every Tuesday, or groups can schedule a time, but it's really nice to have the volunteers come out and help us with projects like this. This is our flower field here. It's one of our most recently acquired little pieces of land. We actually can't grow vegetables here because of the soil test that we got back, so instead of growing edibles, we're growing cut flowers here. And it's just an effort to beautify the neighborhood and just get things green and growing here instead of an empty vacant lot. And this is an example of some of the work that we do with the help of the people in the neighborhood that we are hiring here. And so anybody in this surrounding area is welcome to come and be part of our job training program and help us grow things like this. This is our raspberry patch right here, and we're in the middle of June, and so we've got some delicious raspberries to try. You gotta wait until they're dark red. You don't want to pick them when they're light pink. You're trying to wait till they get to that red, that dark red color. Here's our strawberry patch. It's all out of strawberries right now, but we actually were able to harvest about 3 or 4 different times on it, and we had bowls and bowls of strawberries coming out of this garden, and it was great. We were giving it to our neighbors, we were giving it to the food pantry, and they were really yummy.
And how about these trees?
This is a cherry tree here. We've got a peach right there, and then back there flowering with its beautiful white flowers are another elderberry. Elderberry is not edible until after you cook it, so if you do visit the garden, make sure you're not eating the berries off of those trees. So here's an example of some of the weeds that sometimes we just let grow a little bit because they are edible and they are medicinal, and some people do know about them. So sometimes people will come to the garden looking specifically for something like this, purslane or dandelion, lamb's quarter or clover, because it might be considered a weed in other gardens, but people do use them and eat them, and so we'll let some of them grow here. These are community compost piles here. Anyone's welcome to come and drop off their kitchen scraps here. It does us a world of good. Anything that people are bringing to this pile, we're using and turning into fertilizer for the garden. So we can benefit greatly off of anybody's trash they'd like to otherwise keep out of the landfill. And it's growing more food for the community. So we love our compost piles here, and anyone who wants to drop it off, please do. We really appreciate that.
All right, Lori, thank you so much for the update. This is very early summer. We'll hope to be back sometime later before fall.
Okay, sounds great.
Bye.